Hi, it's Anna Walker, otherwise known as FELTit, and I've been creating for as long as I can remember. I created as a little kid. I'm creating as a big kid. Usually you see me creating things with needle felting and wet felting, but I wanted to come with here these, this past week and these next several weeks. I'm going to continue this until we come on the other side of this crisis, or until the end of what would have been the school year, since our local schools have been canceled. So every day, Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Central Time. Excuse me. Sorry, I just swallowed some spit. Live video. What are you going to do? I decided that I'm going to come to you every day with a little bit of a a little bit of a craft lesson, an art lesson, and there's no reason that we can't have fun even if we are at home for a while. So today's project is something that a friend of mine introduced me to, and she taught me how to do this. Now I'm going to teach you how to do this, and I've got 3 different ways we're going to do this, but let's get started. You're going to hear a little noise. I'm going to knock my overhead light on, and I'm going to move the camera, and we're going to get started painting rocks today. All right, camera's down, light is on. Hopefully you guys can see okay. All right, so these are the rocks that I painted in my friend Sarah's class. And she gave us some wonderful ideas. She does painted mandalas or mandalas. I'm not sure exactly how you pronounce that. But she does these, and she's gifted me quite a few over the past few years. And I took her class to learn how to do this. We're going to do one of the 3 rocks that I have in sort of a dot mandala kind of way. But we're going to do something different for the other 2, okay? So you need a couple of rocks. You're going to need some acrylic paints. You're going to need a paper plate. I'm using junk mail to use as sort of my artist palette, so we can have some place where I can put little dots of paint. You're going to need a paintbrush. You're going to need a jar with some water in it so you can clean your paintbrush. And I have a damp paper towel here. So I'm going to set the ones that I did in my friend Sarah's class aside. I'm going to bring in my 3 rocks. Now, these are just 3 rocks. I'm just using my damp paper towel to sort of wipe off any dirt which might be on them. And then I'm going to see which way I'm going to use these. Now I'm going to set my paper towel over here and turn it around so that I have a place where I can sort of clean my brush in between. I'm going to get my paint dots started, and I just grabbed some of my favorite colors, and I'm just putting a dot of each of those colors down on my piece of junk mail, so that we've got a nice little palette of colors. I chose 5 different colors. I've got a deep yellow, I've got an emerald green, I have ultramarine, I've got violet because you know I love purple, and I've got a little bit of magenta here too. And I'm going to put a tiny dot of white and black on here, because one of the designs we're going to do is going to be a face. Believe it or not, there's one of these rocks that just says to me face, so we're going to make a face on it. The other rock is going to be a word, and then the 3rd rock we're going to do that dot style. Okay, so this is my face rock. You see how on here we've got this little chip out of there? I think that looks like an open mouth, and I think this looks like swirly hair. Excuse me again. So we're going to do a face on this one. This rock, because it's got a nice flat surface and it's sort of angled up, we're going to write a word across here on this rock. And this rock is going to be all about the dots, okay? So let's do our face first. And I'm going to put this, hopefully, so you guys can see it really well. Let's see if I can bring the camera in just a little closer. Yeah. I don't know. It works, I think. So let's give this a try. Now, the first thing I want to do is, it's an open mouth here, okay? So I'm going to use a little bit of the magenta. Oh, and that's going to give us a nice open mouth. That's going to be a perfect color. I was worried that I might have to put another color with it to make it look pinkish. But I think because this rock is a little tanned, that this is going to work perfectly for our open mouth. And see, it's just that easy to paint it on there. And I'm going to clean my brush. And now I want bright yellow hair on this rock, because I think this is hair right up here. I'm going to hold it up like this so you can see me working on it, I hope. And because hair has all sorts of texture to it, I'm just going to splash this on where I think there would be hair. And we're going to let those little blotches just be the texture for our hair. You see, there's our little swoop right over here. And we're just playing. We're just playing with the paint. And we can have some hair coming down over here. The nice thing about using these acrylic paints is that they are nice and washable. Gotta bring this down. Get a little more over here. Okay, what do you think? I think we got a mouth and I think we got hair. See, this is coming together really, really, whoa, and I just dropped it. Live video, folks. Opportunity to show you what happens when things happen that you don't expect. So, we're going to give a little bit more yellow here because we lost some of it on the table. But you know what? We're still okay. Just going to add a little extra texture here where it got mushed off. Today must be outtake day with Miss Anna's art lessons. We're just having all kinds of things happen. And that's okay because things happen. I mean, that's why we're here in the first place, right? Because things are happening. And it's not about avoiding things happening. It's about what are we going to do when things happen. So I'm going to add a little more magenta here for this mouth. Just want to make sure you can see it. I think we're good now. All right, so on a face, what are we missing? We're missing eyes. So I'm going to set this down because I want this to work out really well. And I don't want to screw anything up. I don't want to have a big mistake. So I'm taking a little bit of the white. And I'm going to make nice oval for the eye. Okay, now we're going to do that again. Why am I making them so big and real? Well, mouth is open like ah, so we're going to make it sort of an ah kind of face. Ah, I'm at home and I have to paint. I think that's a good reason to have an ah face. Okay, now I'm going to need to add a little dot of black and then a little dot of a color here because eyes have the white of the iris, and I'm just going to clean up this edge if I can. There we go. And then the iris is the colored part, and then they have a pupil, and the pupil is the black part. But we need to let the white dry just a little bit before we can come back and do the rest of it. So I am thinking I'm going to take just a tiny bit of black. And I'm going to make a little bit of a nose here. What do you think? Looks kind of like a nose to me. Let's tilt this up. What do you think? We've got a little bit of a face going there. All right, now because we need to let the white dry, it's not going to take a long time, but it is going to take a little bit of time. So I'm going to push this one up here in the front, and we're going to let that dry. And I think what we'll do is we will go to our word one here. Now, we can do a colored background if we want, but I kind of like that this has some natural lines that we can use to help us write our word. Now, I'm trying to think of a great word, and actually there's a word that's my favorite, and you probably know this by now because I've been doing this since I was a little kid. Create is one of my favorite words. So we're going to write create on here. And I'm going to write it in my favorite color, which is purple. I'm going to need to turn this just a little bit to the side. And we are going to put our big C there. I'm going to do something that'll help it stand out a little bit after I get the letters on here. Because the purple doesn't show up a whole lot on this gray rock. C-R-E-A-T-E. One more E. I want to make the C just a little darker here. You know, sometimes you may find yourself having to sort of bounce the paint onto the rock to get it to show. But there's our create, okay? I'm going to let this dry just a little bit before I come in and I do the extra. But as I'm holding it up here, I'm noticing that I have a couple of other areas where I need just a little more paint. Sometimes it helps to change your perspective so that you can see what you might need extra. And that's what holding this up is doing for me right now. So I'm just having an opportunity to add just a little extra paint here so that the letters will show up. And this E looks really good. Okay, so you see we've got our little create there. And like I said, we're going to let this dry a little bit so that we can come in and do some shading that's going to help us out. Now, it's not been very long, but I'm going to get back to our face here because we've had enough time go by that we can go ahead and add an additional color on here. So I think that our eyes should be blue eyes. So I'm going to go right into this ultramarine and I'm going to put nice blotch of blue right here. And it's going to look like he's looking off to the side just a little bit, and that's okay. We want to give our creation some character, right? And we can do that just by how we draw things sometimes. You see how we've got our character with a wide open mouth. He's got eyes that are nice and big and blue, and they're looking off to the side. And you know, it's okay. They don't have to be even. They don't have to be perfect. because none of us are. We're all just a little bit different, aren't we? There, I kind of like that. What do you think? I think that looks good. All right, so because we can't add that black right now, we need to let the blue dry, so I'm going to set it down once again right up here. And our Create is still drying a little bit, so we're going to let that sit and dry, and we'll start making some dots here. Now, the cool thing about doing the mandalas or whatever you call them is that you can draw just simple dots, and you can dot it on with just the tip of your paintbrush, and you can go in and you can add different dots that are smaller inside each of them. And let's see what color. Oh, we haven't used the green yet, so let's use the emerald green, and we will start our mandala or our mandala with a nice green dot there in the center. Now, because I've got green already on my brush, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to add a couple of other dots of green. And the fun thing to do is to make a design, and it's easy to make a design when you think about looking at your dots like you would look at a clock. So you see how I've got 12 o'clock up here, and I've got 6 o'clock down here. Well, if I want to make this even, then I'm going to go 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock, so that I'll have the dots all in the same spots, and it'll look like an even pattern. And you see how we've done there? Now I'm going to add, no, I don't think so. I think I'm going to switch to a different color. So the nice thing about doing the mandalas is that there's not a lot of covering up with another color that you've been working on. So we can come in with each individual color, and we can not have to worry about having to blend colors in. And I'm just going to do the same thing here. Dot, dot. Only making small dots. And I'm going to add a few more dots. You see how I'm going on one side and then I'm going on the other side? And look at that, we made a pattern. That's pretty cool. All right, I want to do a pattern a little bit more with the blue, and we're going to go between each of the green dots on the outside edge to add to our pattern. Now you can make up any pattern with any color that you want. This is your painting your way. I'm just giving you some ideas on how you might be able to do that. I like the green and blue together. I think it's time to add a pop of color. So I think we're going to do magenta here. Now remember, I'm rinsing my brush off each time in the water, and then I'm sort of drying it off in the paper towel. I like to use the magenta right now because we've got so much the same color here that I want to give a little pop so that we'll see some really pretty design come into being. And if you hear that sound, that's just my dog Shotzi crawling into her bed at my feet. She is a spoiled dog. She's got a bed in almost every room of my house. I know it's terrible. I'm just, yeah. So I want to make a fun kind of design. So I think what I'm going to do is something that you guys can all do too. See how I've got the nice even pattern with the magenta? Well, I want to make a little design around each of these blue dots. You see how that made that really cool design? Let's try it here. Going up here, and then side, and side, and side, and side. Going up here, and then side, and side. Get a little more paint, and side, and side. and then one right here, and then side and side and side and side. And wow, look at that. We've got a cool little pattern shaping up here. See how that's shaping up? Isn't that neat? So much fun to do this. Our eyes on our fella with the yellow hair are still drying. I'm going to set this mandala aside for just a second, and I want to bring our create back up here again. And I think what I'm going to do is take the white, and I'm just going to see if this is going to work out the way I want it to. I'm going to see if I can draw a line all the way around the C. Make it a nice thin line, and then do it on this side too. And that is going to make our word just pop out on our rock. See, it's that easy to get our letters to pop out. We're just outlining them a little bit with white. You could outline them with another color if you wanted, but this will make it possible for us to see these words. And let's get it alongside the R. And I'm not worried if my letters get a little fat, or if the white from one side bleeds into the next letter, because it's gonna happen. It's just a matter of making it look like it's an intentional design aspect. And we can do that by keeping the same thing going all the way around. Now that's the center of our E. I'm gonna go ahead and put the center of our other E in while I'm doing it. And now I'm gonna take and gather up some more of the white on my thin little paintbrush, and I'm going to outline the E. And if you just go slow and careful, you can get that design popping just beautifully here. We're doing really well. Get a little bit more white here. Outline our A. The other thing about letting the first color dry is that we don't have to worry about our colors overlapping and blending, because we've given time for it to just dry, at least to a dry enough state that we don't have to worry about bleeding into the other letters. And just adding this white around each of those letters is helping this word pop even more. 2 more letters to finish up, and then we can decide what we're going to do next with this, or if we're done with it. And you see how our T came over and is sort of right there with our A? That's all right. We're just putting our T right there. See? I don't want you worrying about things having to be perfect, because creativity is about finding beauty in imperfection. There we go. Now our create is popping really, really nicely. And if we wanted to, we could certainly take some other colors. We could add some more purple into the center if we want that to pop some more. Or we could just, I don't know, let's make a sunshine up here. I think we could all use a little bit of sunshine right now. And so let's make our own. We're just going to draw some little rays coming out. It could be sunshine, it could be a sunflower. Whatever you want. just a little more yellow here in the center. I think I'm going to try and add just a little more yellow on each of the rays. There we go. I like that. I like that a lot. So there is our Create Rock. Not bad. Let's go back to our fella. He needs just a touch of black there in the center of his eyes so that we've got a pupil right there. Right there. And so now our fella is done. And he's looking at that rock we're making. Oh my gosh, he is so excited. So let's come back to our mandala. And we're just going to add some additional color to help finish this up. And then we will have some painted rocks. I really hope that you will have someone post pictures of your rocks so that I can see them, because I think it's really important for all of us to help one another stay creative right now. And that's why I'm coming to you every day, is to help you find some creativity. And let's see, let's add a yellow in between each of these blues. See, and the design can be anything you want it to be. And you can decide where you want your paint colors to be. I'm going to get a little bit of the purple because we don't have purple in here yet. I'm going to put a dot right there, and right there, and right there, and right there. And then I'm going to come in, I'm going to put a dot. Where am I going to put a dot? Oh, I think we should go dot, dot, dot. There we go. And dot, dot, dot. And dot, dot, dot. And dot, dot, dot. Now we got a lot of color on here, but I want to help that color pop just a little bit. So I'm going to add some little dots of white, and then we'll be done with our rock, okay? So again, I'm just coming in with dots so that we can pop some colors here. And I'm going to go dot, dot, dot. See how just adding that little bit of white makes a difference? Dot, dot, dot. Dot, dot, dot. And dot, dot, dot. And then let's do it up here too. Dot, dot, dot. Dot, dot, dot. Dot, dot, dot. And dot, dot, dot. I'm liking it. I think that we are good to go here. So we made our 3 rocks today. I hope you made a few rocks, but here's our mandala. And it's just a simple pattern, just deciding where you want that pattern to be and moving it along. Here is our guy who's really excited about that rock we just made. Look at his face. He's going, oh my gosh, look what you did. You created. Ah. I hope that you've had a good time today. And I want to tell you about tomorrow's project because you need to do a little homework, okay? You are going to need a couple pieces of cardboard. I don't have these put together yet, but I will be putting a little bit of glue in the very center and gluing these together. And then I want you to cut notches in both of them all the way around your square. And this is going to be our base for making some string art tomorrow. So you'll need your cardboard already cut into the shape you want. It doesn't have to be a square. It could be a circle. It could be a heart. It could be a triangle. It could be a diamond. Whatever shape you want. You just need 2 pieces of cardboard that you can glue together tonight. And you want to have the notches cut all the way around before you come to class tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. And we're going to create some string art, okay? I have had a great time with you today. And I hope you've had fun today too. I'm looking forward to the next few weeks of getting together at 10 o'clock every morning. And we'll create together. And we'll have an internet create date. And I want to see your pictures. So please post pictures here. And if you want to learn a little bit more about this felting stuff that I do, have mom or dad or grandma or whoever's with you go to stabthingsintoexistence.com and you can learn all about the felting stuff that I do. So until tomorrow, finish your painted rocks, take some pictures and show them to me here, and I will see you tomorrow with string art. See you later. Bye.